Hi, and welcome back. This has been kind of a long time coming now. It's been a while since I listened to Sleep Token, and the last song I did was The Night Does Not Belong to Us from the Sundowning album. So I thought we're going to continue on the Sundowning album. I thought doing 3 songs now and making this into like part 1, well, maybe part 2, but we're going to start with The Offering, and then go to Levitate, and then go to Dark Signs. Do those 3 in this video. So I hope that works to make just a couple songs at the time. We're going to do it with the lyrics so we can like go through it, dissect it a little, and hopefully maybe not cry. But The Night Does Not Belong to Us really made a number on me, or did a number on me. So, let's just go. Let's just jump into it. All right? Really cool to get a song that actually starts out with the distorted guitars and the drums and the bass coming right in from the get-go. That is great. I've listened to many Sleep Token songs now when oftentimes they will start out quite slow, quite calm, and then they gradually move into that more distorted, heavy sound. So to get that start, that is actually a nice change of pace. I really enjoyed that. And it was really cool. And the drums. Yeah. You know the drums. Let's continue.
You are a garden entwined with all. You are the silence on sacred shores. You've got diamonds for teeth, my love. So take a bite of me just once. I want to turn the page once again. Take a bite.
Hi. Up and down into falsetto, and of course that beautiful voice that Vessel has. We're going to dissect these lyrics a little bit, but as far as we've come now, Vessel seems like talking about someone who he is, putting up on a pedestal, right? Someone who is almost divine, like comparing her or him, whoever he's comparing, maybe even sleep, as some have suggested. You are a garden entwined with all. You are the silence on sacred shores. Like it seems he's talking about someone who's really special, like someone really unique to him. You got diamonds for teeth, my love. Like that sounds pretty exclusive. Not like the rest of us who have normal teeth. So take a bite of me just once. Like you just want to be part of that, probably. Like by taking a bite of it, you want to be part of that beauty that you adore, that you consider to be almost godlike. Maybe. That's what I'm getting so far. All right, let's continue. Those drum breaks. Right. Yeah, let's just go. I could talk. I'll try to keep this as concise and precise as possible because you get kind of dreamy when you talk about this because it really takes you on this. Yeah, you just get lost in the song. But yeah, let's check out the lyrics for this verse. This is a given, an offering in your favor, a sacrifice in your name. But I know you've got a taste, so just take a bite of me. It seems like, and to follow with the rest of the verse as well. Turn the page once again. Give up the game and let me in. My arms belong around you. So it seems like Vessel in these lyrics seems like he is desperately trying to get close to someone to embrace him and show him the same kind of love that he shows this person or thing. And there's a level of desperation to it. It seems like almost begging, which is interesting, especially if it's like whether it's a relationship or whether it's something else. It's hard to say, but to be on the begging end of that situation in a relation to someone else is really difficult because when that happens, the other person has all the power, right? The emotional power, that is. So when someone is so desperate that they will beg you to take you in and claim that we belong together, this is my point of view, then you have played. The ball is not in your court anymore. You've played everything, and then you just have to wait, desperately seeking that response that you want to get. Might be painful. No matter what it is, it's a person, it's a friend, it's someone who you want to forgive you, maybe something else. To me, it's kind of not entirely clear who we're talking to, but it's easy to assume that it would be maybe a romantic relationship. But there's not specific. It's not specific enough that I would say that that's an obvious one. But anyways, it seems like a power dynamic between Vessel saying these words to someone desperately seeking that attention and that sort of acknowledgement from the opposite part. Maybe. Freaking great with the distorted guitars and the drums coming back in, and the drum breaks in between are impeccable. They're so good. The guitars are, not basic, but not too technical as well. Just complementing the song and the chord progression, just making it kind of easy, letting the drums shine a lot when only the instruments play and not the lyrics. Okay, let's continue. That's different.
Say goodbye.
Just break it a little bit there. We're getting back to that wonderful thing that Sleep Token often do. They get into the distorted parts, which we've heard in many songs now, and they'll let that ring out for quite a long time. It's so cool. It's so great. And the cool thing about the guitars here is that there's a single constant open string playing these riffs, and they don't break. They don't take a break at all. They just ring out the open strings with some different notes on the fretboard here and there, making that melody that we are now familiar with, but then just keeping that all the time, just letting that guitar talk continuously with the drums to accompany that. It just sounds very full, and it sounds intense, considering the lyrics now that this person has been kind of desperate, just pouring out everything to try to get the attention and the acknowledgement of the thing or person vessel is talking to. That desperation and that intensity and that lust for getting the correct response sort of reflects in this guitar part with the drums as well. Just relentless, just keeps going, never takes a break, which fits perfectly with the lyrics. Like, it seems so desperate in the lyrics that you're not letting go of this thought, this thing that you're romanticizing and that you want to be a part of. You so desperately long for that you're just never letting go. Like the guitarist just keeps going, never lets up. It's cool. Great composition. I think maybe I spit a little there. I'm sorry. All right, let's listen to the last part, the last almost minute. Classic fade out. A real classic fade out to the song. That's really cool, actually. Not a lot of bands do that anymore. That was like super popular back in the 90s. Like Pantera, for example, they would do that a lot. Wow. No, but yeah, that was really good. I think we got actually to talk about the lyrics quite a lot in this, and I feel like I got a good understanding of it. And it's really cool to see those lyrics, how they are accompanied by what choices are made on the guitars. I think that's great. At least that's what I'm taking away from this. It's like storytelling through lyrics, and then enhanced storytelling by the guitars and the other instruments. The intensity is kept, and the subject matter is also sort of reflected in the sonic parts, the music. The last half a song is just basically the same riff, just being repeated over and over again, with the variations in the ambient add-ons that came after a while, and the drums doing some different parts. But yeah, no, this, again, great song, great composition, great combination between lyrics and instruments to just make this full product, this full song that sounds great. Awesome. Let's just drop right on to the next one. This is Levitate. Next song. Let's go.
I can lift you up.
Ooh.
Your body is mostly blood, like water, a perfect flood, engulfing me again. And I can tell you won't remember my cracking bones, the trauma we can't regrow, just as you leave again. No. Will you levitate?
All right, we're gonna run that back from when he says, "Will you levitate?" What a what a cool song to continue with. Doing this one next. So different in the chord progression, and also the seems like a major scale more so than the last one that was more like a minor scale. Again, Vessel using words, being like a real wordsmith here, creating these very vivid pictures through his words. I can lift you up, your body's mostly blood, like water, a perfect flood, engulfing me again. Like, again, it seems to me like he is looking at someone as being this grand, fantastic, this awesome thing that is so big and so grand and that he adores. When he goes into saying, I can tell you won't remember my cracking bones, the trauma we can't regrow, just as you leave again. So, leave again, this probably happened before, but no matter how many times it has happened, he still seems like he is adoring this person or this thing. Maybe this person being kind of maybe indifferent to whatever suffering he is feeling from them leaving each other over and over, like going through this cycle, maybe kind of like a toxic relationship between two people. That's what I'm getting from it so far, at least. Let's go back a little bit so we get the what I assume is the chorus. Let's go. So good at those vocal rolls, man.
Up where the angels inhabit, will you levitate where I won't reach you, and we imitate a story of perfect days, a ballad we fabricate as you forget your words again. No, and is that all you need?
Right, and just wanna go through the lyrics as we read them here. A really nice chorus, and the vocal runs that Vessel does when he initially says, "Will you levitate?" He does it in the next one as well, but how he just plays with that, with those notes just going up and down like really fast. It sounds really brittle and really like almost like it's gonna break, like the voice is gonna break. But he has such a fantastic control over those, and it sounds great. Like his whole voice is just so pleasant to listen to. Such a nice singing voice. Will you levitate up where the angels inhabit? Will you levitate where I won't reach you? Will you go somewhere beyond me, where I can't find you or get to you anymore? Then he goes on to say, and we imitate a story of perfect days, a ballad we fabricate as you forget your words again. I'm not going to go too deep into that because there's more lyrics to this that will maybe sort of fill that out. But it seems like, as much as they've been going back and forth with each other, they might end up sometimes in situations where things seems pretty decent, pretty normal, pretty like stable. But with their track record in mind, maybe that's just a facade. Maybe that's just something a momentary bliss, if you will. Momentary happiness. But I don't know. We'll just have to continue the lyrics and see.
So merely pretend to be falling in love with me, forgetting the agony again. Will you levitate
Okay, really cool when the drums kick in there and you get that hand clap in place of the snare, or as a snare. And the placement of that snare is like, it seems really crazy to begin with, because it's not on it's not like 1 2 1 2 1 2. It seems more sporadic. There is a pattern to it, and I'll probably get that pattern the more I listen to this song. But that is one of the things that I've heard Sleep Token do more times in their song, and it's one of the things that I've really come to enjoy as well, because the more you listen to it, you can sort of decipher it and you get more familiar with it. And in that respect, you almost build like a more personal relationship to the song just based on the audio and how the music is composed, like outside the vocals, which is cool. It's really cool. A lot of other, it's something that I have found oftentimes in like progressive metal, when they don't necessarily follow these typical normal structures. But to find it in this kind of music is really, really cool. You know, he's talking about what I thought he was talking about, it seems to me at least. He says, and is that all you need? To merely pretend to be falling in love with me, forgetting the agony again. So it seems like the facade that I was talking about, like, this is just pretend at this point. We are going through these things, and we have these issues that in maybe the best of times we try to ignore or maybe not talk about. Maybe they linger, but nobody wants to talk about it because there's a fear of escalation, of escalating the situation and then creating problems that you don't want to be there. Especially if you're the person who doesn't want something to end or something to get broken or to leave each other again, as he says in the lyrics pretty early on, then maybe you just accept it and you don't talk about it because it's less painful, although not pain-free. Maybe. This is what I'm getting from it. Cool. Really cool lyrics. All right, let's listen to the last 1.5 minutes of the song. Slowly fading out. Nice end. Cool. This was a really nice song as well. Really enjoyed that. It's always fun when you read the lyrics and you sort of get an idea of what they're talking about, like fairly early on. And a really nice contrast to the offering. First the offering and then Levitate. Really cool change between the moods of these two songs. Although none of the subject matters are a delight to read, but it's a cool story, and sometimes you can relate to that. You know, you have your own experience and you read something like this, and maybe you know how that pain feels. I really enjoyed that. All right, we're gonna jump on to the next song as well, but I might have to recharge the camera, so we'll see. Couple hours later and a costume change, we're gonna go on to Dark Signs. So let's just jump right into that one and see what it's all about. Really nice bass with those vocal harmonies on it.
Where I was raised, there was no street lights, just pitch black and passing headlights.
All right.
Where we met, there must have been dark signs, omens in your sky.
Very interesting start. The bass sounds very rich. It's like a synth bass playing in the background. And, well, it's not so much in the background, actually, because you hear it quite well. Like, it takes center stage, but it's kind of simplistic, the start of it, with the bass line laying down low, and then you have those beautiful harmonies laying on top. And interesting, when Vessel starts singing, his voice has a lot more like rasp to it, like sounds maybe a little more like strained and angry in how he sort of portrays these vocals, and also, you know, just depicting someone who was born somewhere that was, you know, outside of you know, inhabited spaces. Maybe like a very like rural place. I don't know. Maybe, perhaps. We'll get some clarity on that when we listen more to it. So yeah, no, let's continue. This is interesting.
Most days you reach for safety, remain calm, forget that you know me. When we met, I could see dark signs, alarm bell in your eyes, and I miss the man I was, the moment we left off, and I hate who I have become. Every time I wake up, and if you saw the marks on my dashboard.
Oh, okay. Oh, we need to take that one in a single sitting, because that was a really cool beat. Let's just go a little more into what we just heard. Most days you reach for safety, remain calm, forget that you know me. And when we met, I could see dark signs, alarm bells in your eyes. So it seems like both Vessel, who is talking here, and whoever he's talking about, or two, both are like from the same place, but it seems like it's a somewhat of an unsafe place to be at. Maybe it's because of some kind of criminal activity. Maybe it's, you know, it could be anything really. But that was at least the first thing I thought, that it seems like when it says like remain calm, forget that you know me, that's usually if you get caught in a situation that you don't want to be caught in and you don't want to out your associates, then, you know, just remain calm, forget that you know me, you know, don't drag each other into this and make this more severe than it has to be. So that's kind of the first thought I had. And then he goes into what might be the, whether it's a bridge or the chorus, I don't know, we'll see. And I miss the man I was the moment we left off. I might break and bend to my basic need to be loved and close to somebody. So again, something has changed. Something has changed. And the person he was is not the same person anymore due to some kind of circumstance, which is a little unclear still, but maybe it is the environment that they have gotten into over time. Maybe it's some kind of criminal activity that they're into now that they weren't before, and that life maybe was a little easier. I don't know, but that's at least my first impression of it. Yeah, and I hate who I have become. And then they repeat that I might break and bend to my basic need to be loved and close to somebody every time I wake up. So it's kind of like I miss the man I was the moment we left off, and I hate who I have become every time I wake up. So I mean, it's pretty straightforward, right? I miss who I was. and this is what I am now, and I miss what we had. And by changing, it almost seems like within that change there was also a loss of love, maybe. That's, what it seems like. Okay, we're gonna continue. Let's see where I'm eager to check out this beat. I'm really, really eager to check out this beat. So, let's go.
If you saw the marks on my dashboard, the new scars that I didn't ask for, would you call asking for answers? Tear my arms off. Most days you reach for safety. Remain calm, forget you know me. No, when we met, I could see dark side. Alarm bell in your eye.
So cool.
It's the man I was. The moment we left and I hate who I've become. Every time I wake up.
All right, this is really cool. A lovely change, and the beat, this trap kind of beat that we got in the second verse here, really kind of reminds me of Emergence, with how that beat is kind of like the same style, the same art style, and I think that is really cool. And if you saw the marks on my dashboard, the new scars that I didn't ask for, would you call asking for answers? So that's sort of like the first bulk. And the marks on the dashboard would seem like a metaphor maybe for things that have happened to him that the other person doesn't know about or are oblivious to. The new scars that I didn't ask for. Something happened that he was dragged into. Like while he was doing everything he was doing, shit happened along the way. Would you call asking for answers? Would you even ask for answers? Would you even consider asking more from me? That's what I'm getting. That's the end of the verse. And then it seems like most days you reach for safety. That's where the bridge kind of comes in. Then they go back into the chorus. It seems like a couple people who have been brought up maybe at the same spot and then gone apart from each other, doing different things, maybe associating within some kind of environment that doesn't feel entirely safe, or maybe not entirely legal either, and missing who they were before they got into that. And it seems almost like they got dragged into that. Like that's the cards they were dealt in life and they had to play them. And they're not too excited about that, but it is what it is. Maybe. All right, so let's continue. Let's continue with the song.
Every time I wake up and I miss the man I was, the moment we left.
Ah.
And I hate who I've become. Every time I wake up.
Just a quick note on the part that we listen to here when the distorted guitars come in. It's really cool, and the layers are really clear. You can hear them like separately. You can focus on one layer without it blending in with the others, which is really cool. A good sign of a good mix. And I love how they brought back those kind of like choir voices in the more distorted, the more heavy part here. The drums were, of course, awesome, adding to this. But I really liked how melodic that choir sounded and how cool of a change that was, just keeping sort of like the same kind of theme going through the trap beat and the melody following the trap beat and then going into the more distorted parts. That is really cool. It sounds very cohesive, this song as well. So yeah, awesome. Awesome. Let's continue. Yeah, that was great. When we met, I could see dark signs. So I think that sentence kind of sums up the whole substance of these lyrics, because he knew something was off. Like the moment we met, something is off, but you're heading into it anyways, because you didn't know what it was, you didn't know what to fear or maybe what to take into account, and maybe even for the sake of protecting yourself. You didn't know. So now you're in it, but you already saw that there was something before you even got into it. Gosh, that was a really cool song as well. Love how Sleep Token does this mix between the heavy parts, the very calm melodic parts, and also the trap beat. Like, this is the kind of song that really speaks to me. And I think it shares a lot of the same qualities as Emergence has. And that is really one of the songs that I've been listening to the most after I discovered Sleep Token this year. So it's great to hear that they can sort of pick out elements from what they have done before and then create something completely new with it. Like they did with Emergence, that is obviously something that they have done before, similar content, similar songs. And I think that is great. I think that's so cool. Even though they are changing up and throwing you off with how different every song is, sometimes you find these similarities. And this is quite similar, at least sonically, to Emergence. And I think that's great. I think that kind of sort of gives me more of a... I appreciate more of the songs that I've listened to because I can draw these lines. So it's kind of like a callback to this song maybe. And it's fun to listen to newer stuff and then older stuff. So maybe I'll do a newer song next just to sort of like connect the dots in between. But yeah, no, cool. I've been talking a lot here, so I probably just going to end it here. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. This was really cool. These 3 songs were really really something, and I hope you agree with my choice that I'm doing these couple songs, 2-3 songs, and just doing it into parts. So we'll get through Sundowning sooner or later, and then we'll continue further on. I don't know how long it'll take, but it doesn't matter. I'm enjoying myself so much so that, whatever. I hope you enjoyed. You take good care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.